All right, biblical DNA here. Today we have the 4,000-year-old hair from the Middle Nile highlights unusual ancient DNA degradation pattern and a potential source of early Eastern Africa pastoralists. All right, and the most important aspect about this is it shows the DNA of the early um, Meratic or the Kush Kingdom of Kush. Right, so let's go ahead and get into this. The abstract petrous bones and teeth are the skeletal elements most often targeted by researchers for ancient DNA extraction and the sources of the majority of the previously published ancient African genomes. However, the high temperature environments that characterize much of Africa often lead to poor preservation of skeletal remains. Here, we successfully reconstruct and analyze genome-wide data from the naturally mummified hair of a 4,000-year-old individual from Sudan in northeastern Africa after failed attempts at DNA extraction from teeth, um, petrous, and cranium of this and other individuals from the Kadruka cemeteries. We find that hair DNA extracted with an established single-stranded library protocol is unusually enriched in ultra-short DNA molecules and exhibits substantial interior molecular damage. The ancient DNA was nonetheless amenable to genetic analysis, which revealed that the genome is genetically indistinguishable from that of early Neolithic Eastern African pastoralists located 2,500 kilometers away. Our findings are consistent with the established models for the southward dispersal of Middle Nile Valley pastoral populations to the Rift Valley of Eastern Africa and provide a possible genetic source population for this dispersal. Our study highlights the value of mummified hair as an alternate source of ancient DNA from regions with poor bone preservations. All right, go ahead down to the highlighted parts of this video. And this is the same um, source that I brought up in my last video and I put on my community post about a month ago, over a month ago. All right. Ancient DNA studies have revealed multiple waves of human migrations associated with the spread of pastoralism and complex subsequent admixture events with the local hunter-gatherers in Eastern Africa. Although there is broad consensus that early pastoralists in Eastern Africa originated from population dispersals from the north from regions such as Sudan and Ethiopia. No ancient DNA data related to early pastoralists from these regions has yet been published. All right, it says in one Kerma period individual directly dated to 4,333 or 4,033 before present from Kadruka 1. Of all the tissues and samples tested, only one sample of preserved hair from the Kerma period individual yielded a significant, a sufficient amount of authentic ancient human DNA to study. We argue that a critical prerequisite in this extraction was the first application of a state-of-the-art single-stranded laboratory protocol on hair material, which is able to turn single-stranded DNA molecules into a sequencing library. as we show in our analysis, sequence data generated from hair, ancient DNA using the single-stranded library protocol features unique characteristics that pose challenges in downstream genetic analysis. Our population genetic analysis of this hair sample from northern Sudan reveals a close genetic affinity of the Kerma period individual to early pastoralists from the Rift Valley in eastern Africa. All right. It says we conclude that our sample, Sudan, Kadruka 1 400 before present, represents one of the earliest and most northerly ancient pastoralist populations to have been genetically characterized in Africa to date, as well as potentially a genetic source population for one of the earliest prehistoric pastoralist dispersals into Eastern Africa. Now, the reason why it took me so long to do this video, because I was waiting for the Global 25 scaled sample, or the coordinates, and unfortunately I waited long enough. Davidski or no one from Genoplot has listed this sample, so I just went and decided to go ahead and do this video. So hopefully you appreciate it. Give me a like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed this content today. A recent study exploring the diet of individuals from Kadruka 21 and Kadruka 1 detected milk proteins attributable to domesticated cow, bovine, or sheep, ovis, in the dental calculus of individual SK129 from Kadruka 21 and to goat, carpa, in the dental calculus of individual SK69 from Kadruka 1. Furthermore, isotopic analysis of hair from individual SK69 named Sudan underscore Kadruka 1 underscore 400 before present in this study broadly indicate a diet primarily composed of C3 based resources, plants, or animals consuming plants. So basically, they were eating animals, and they also ate vegetation, and they also drank dairy, right? So direct paleoproteomic evidence for milk consumption, together with the remains of cattle, sheep, and goat found in grave assemblages, identify individuals from Kadruka 1 and Kadruka 21 as belonging to early populations practicing pastoralism, making the sites ideal for archaeogenetic research seeking to examine early pastoralist dispersals in northeastern Africa, ancient DNA identification, and sequencing strategy. We screened 5 specimens deriving from 4 individuals from the Kadruka district of northern Sudan for ancient DNA preservation, drawing on tooth KDR001.A, hair KDR001.B, Petros bone KDR002, KDR004, and cranial KDR003 samples. All specimens were excavated from archaeological contexts dating to the Neolithic and Kerma periods. The only sample that yielded detectable, authentic ancient DNA was a lock of dark hair, all right, from a Kerma period individual. Now, these Kerma people, remember, y'all, it was the ancient Egyptians, or the Kemet, Remek, Kemet. Give me 1 second. Yeah, the Ramek and Kermet, the people of Kemet, they were the ones that renamed the people of Kerma, the Kerma individuals, to Kush. It was them. So this is why this is important, because the people of Kerma would have been the people of Kush. All right. So back to it. All right. We use a total of 27.5 centimeters of hair for ancient DNA extraction and 78.5 milligram for radiocarbon dating. The hair sample from Kadruka 1 SK68 is directly dated to 3,928 to 4,139 before present. Contemporaneous to the pastoral Neolithic period in Eastern Africa. All right, so this is our first, let me see, map. Got this one already up. All right, so it could show you exactly where it was located. Let me see how this looks for y'all. All right, looks good. So you can see the hair. So it doesn't look like kinky hair. It looks like wavy hair or curly hair. And it kind of looks like a blondish, like reddish tint to it. That could be from aging. I don't know, but it doesn't look like tight, curly or nappy hair. So here we see that this sample was found in northern Sudan, close to the border of Egypt, and we see the other samples below of Kenya, early pastoral, and we see to the west we have Yoruba, Isan, Mandinka, Mende. To the north we have Mozambique. To the south we have Bantu samples, right? So these are the samples they're going to test. In the north also, we're going to see that they tested Levantine, like Chalcolithic, and Levantine or Neolithic, Anatolian, and Iranian or Iranian. All right, let's go ahead and scroll to the next highlighted portions. All right, genetic affinity to the early Eastern African pastoralists. We performed principal components analysis PCA and outgroup FG to investigate the genetic ancestry of the individual. Sudan, Kadruka 1 4000 before present, from whom our hair sample derived, utilizing 3,336 mapped reads overlapping with S&P positions from the shotgun data after read length filter at 25 BP of Sudan on Kadruka 1 4000 before present. All right, so let's go down here. It says we observe clear separations of African populations from different regions, with eastern/northern, southern, and western African populations falling into the right, left, and top corner of PC1/PC2 space, respectively. And what they're basically saying, let me go ahead and pull this one up too for y'all. There we go. Let's see how this looks. All right, looks good. What they're saying is you can see the difference between South African, Central African, West African, North African. You can see the difference, but then you can see what this sample falls into. So it falls in between East African, I think that's Israel Chalcolithic. Let me see. Yeah, Israel Chalcolithic and Anatolian Neolithic, right? And North African. Morocco. So this is the Ibero-Mauritian. So these are the populations that's closer to this Sudan Kadruka 1 sample. And I believe this sample is close to the Natufians. So we're gonna see why too, and why is it so close to the Kenyan early pastoralists. We're gonna see why. They carried a certain Y DNA. Very, very important. They carried a certain Y DNA. And this Y DNA was in the Levant during the Neolithic. All right. All right. It says the PCA shows Sudan, Kadruka 1, 4000 BP, located close to previously published early pastoralists in Eastern Africa, such as Kenya, early pastoral, Neolithic, 3800 to 4000 before present, and Kenya pastoral, Neolithic, 1500 to 3000 before present. Kenya early pastoral Neolithic is a group of two pastoralists, individuals dated to the early stage of the Eastern African pastoral Neolithic, both of whom are genetically derived from admixture between two early northeastern African related ancestries from Sudan and North Africa / Levant. Now let's go ahead into the uMap, y'all. Let's go to Kenya. All right. All right, I don't know what's taking so long. Go ahead and refresh this. Man, what's taking so long? All right, sorry about that, y'all. It's taking a minute. All right. Well, I'll wait. I'll let this load up again. Let's see now. While it's loading, I'm going back to it. All right, it says Sudan, Kadruka 1, 4000 before present, shares the highest genetic affinity with ancient Levantine groups, ancient northern and eastern Africans, and modern Africans from northern Sahara in the Horn of Africa. All right. Additionally, we showed that in F4, Kenya early pastoral Neolithic population X, Sudan, Kadruka 1, 4000 BP results that all tested ancient and modern African populations are either significantly positive, suggesting that they are less close to Kenya early pastoral and compared to Sudan Kadruka 1, 4000 BP, or overlapping with 0, indicating equal genetic distance to both. All right. So I got this one up too. So I wish the only thing they would have done was put the sample of the Sudan Kadruka 4000 BP on here, but it would have been somewhere in between these right here. The Iran Ganji Dera, Israel Chalcolithic, Morocco Ibero-Mauritian, Anatolia Neolithic, Mozabite, Sahrawi, Mozabite, Mozambique, European, Kenya, Pastoral, Neolithic, Elementian. Messed that up, but it's okay. Mozambique, Sub-Saharan. All right, so it's been somewhere in between here, and this didn't really break it down how it should have, but it is what it is. All right, this for some reason is not working out for me. There we go. I guess they just wanted me to search it on my own. There we go, Kenya. All right. All right, there we go. Pastoral Neolithic. You see the Y DNA? E1B1B1B2B. Maternal DNA, L4B2A2B. So, in the case you don't know why this is important, is because E1B1B1B2 did an early back migration to Africa, to the Horn of Africa. It's believed it was sometime between the Neolithic and early Bronze Age. As we see, more E1B1B2B2A1 samples. Very, very, very important. This is the reason why they carried the Levantine DNA. All right. And I ran it through Global 25 on the Van Duel using the G25 Ancient World Neolithic calculator. All right. Let's go ahead and go all the way. We see that these samples have East Africa, Southeast Africa, Neolithic, or Levant Neolithic. Here we go. East Africa, Levant Neolithic, Ibero-Mauritian, Kenya, early pastoral, East Africa, Levant Neolithic, Ibero-Mauritian. You following along? You see what these people were mixed with? Uh-huh. So these Natufians came to East Africa, and then they followed up the Nile and landed in Sudan. So these people of the kingdom of Kush would have been Natufians in origin. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. They had that Natufian DNA, and guess what? They weren't speaking Semitic. They did not know a Semitic language. In fact, you stick around and listen to the rest of this video. I'm gonna play some clips. That's right. Look at that, y'all. Look at that. Crazy. Even Tanzania. Pastoral Neolithic. Look at this Natufian DNA. All right. Back to it. Scroll down. All right, it says highlighting the need for additional ancient DNA from ancient northeastern African populations. The ancient DNA recovered from ancient human hair in this study provides important new genetic data relevant to the detailed reconstruction of early pastoral dispersals from northeastern to eastern Africa. All right, I think that's it. Yep. All right. Now, this is important. So when you download this or go to this URL, right, you want to click on the supplementary information. After you click on the supplementary information, it's going to take you down to Come on now. It's going to take you to two supplementary information 1 and supplementary information 2. If you click on the second one, it's an Excel spreadsheet. Let me go ahead and pull it up. Bam. All right. This Excel spreadsheet, you're going to see the samples that they use for this study. This is very important. So when you go, you can either go to Genoplot and get these G25 coordinates, or you can get them from Davidski. I have them in the description box. But you can do this yourself and see exactly what they did. Like I said before, unfortunately, the sample in question or in this study is not published for global 25 coordinates. So, but you can go ahead and see it for yourself. These Kenya, pastoral, early Neolithic or Neolithic Iron Age, all of them, they have Natufian DNA, right? Tanzania, Natufian DNA. The people of Kerma never spoke a Semitic language, right? So if this sample was part of Natufian, right? If it didn't speak a Semitic language, right, and it went to East Africa, didn't spread the Semitic language to East Africa, that proves that the Natufians were not speaking Semitic languages. Very, very important. Let's go down to Tanzania. We see E1B1B, 1A, 1B2, EV22. And we see the maternal DNA L2A1 there. Thought that was another one in Tanzania. Might have been wrong. Yeah, I guess I'm wrong. Oh, okay. They must don't have them on here, but there's more samples in Tanzania, I believe, that carried E1B1B, 1B2 also. All right. Let's see what else I want to show y'all today. I also did the samples found in Sudan, the early or early Christian Nubia, right? And you see the same thing, that they shared East African Levant Neolithic, this Natufian DNA, and Ibero-Mauritian, and some Iranian Pastoralist Neolithic. Very, very important. It looks just like this Kerma period individual. Look at that, y'all. Just like the Kermit period individual. Another one. Very, very similar. And another thing that's important to see is that none of these individuals had of sub-Saharan DNA. So people out there are saying black people, like African Americans, are descendants of Cushites. You are wrong. Very incorrect. West sub-Saharan Africans have nothing to do with the kingdom of Kush. And you can find these samples from evaluation of DNA conservation in Nile-Saharan environment. Was that Missiminia in Nubia, tracking maternal lineage of X group. All right, let me see if I think that's everything I wanted to highlight on here. Yeah, I'm gonna go back and show y'all something again. Just confirm with the picture that what I'm talking about. West Africa up here to the north, to the top, right? They're separated. they have nothing to do with this Kerma period individual, right? South Africa, Bantu, Central Africa. But you see what's close to this individual, East Africa, Levant, Neolithic, Natufians, Ibero-Maurusians, Anatolia, Neolithic. So these are the people that's closer to this Kerma period sample. All right, y'all. This has been Biblical DNA. I appreciate for everyone that stayed tuning in and watched this whole video. Once again, please like, share, and subscribe. If you got any comments, please, give me anything positive or negative. Just keep it, tactful. Just let me know what I can improve on, what I can do better. And yeah, that's it. Biblical DNA out.